Members of the Cheyenne chapter of the Daughters of the American Revolution are fighting the national organization over a rule change that now allows transgender women into the group. A Cheyenne couple might be among those to finally answer the age-old question of whether Bigfoot exists. And the war in Israel hits home for a former Wyoming resident who now lives in Jerusalem. Bringing you these stories and more from Wyoming's largest news organization, I'm Wendy Corr for Cowboy State Daily. The Daughters of the American Revolution is not an organization typically associated with controversy or operating under much public scrutiny outside its acts of charity and service. But Cowboy State Daily's Leah Wolfson reports that has changed recently as the Cheyenne DAR chapter feuds with the national organization and itself over a clarification in policy to allow transgender women.
Judy Lindsay was very upset about this change, and she went to the national media to talk about it. And according to the organization's bylaws, you're not really supposed to spread any information about the organization itself generally at all. And the national organization was mad that she was kind of bringing controversy to the Daughters of the American Revolution name.
Judy Lindsay's husband said no transgender women have sought membership into the Cheyenne chapter. A pair of Wyoming lawmakers who went to Harvard University say they're disgusted with the more than 30 student groups at the school who are blaming Israel for the deadly Hamas attack that's plunged the country into war with the terrorist group. Cowboy State Daily's Claire McFarland spoke to two Wyoming lawmakers who attended Harvard University and have expressed their opposition to the students' position.
The Wyoming legislature has at least 3 Harvard graduates in its ranks, and those are Dave Kinski, Cyrus Western, and Charlie Scott. Western and Scott condemned the student group's statement and voiced support for Israel.
While Harvard and other elite schools are seeing displays and protests backing different groups in the conflict, all is quiet at the University of Wyoming. Chad Baldwin, a spokesman for the university, told Cowboy State Daily Wednesday he's not aware of any student group scheduled displays or events in favor of either Israel or Palestine. A Cheyenne couple might be among those to finally answer the age-old question of whether Bigfoot exists. Shannon Parker told Cowboy State Daily's Mark Hines that she, her husband, and another passenger aboard a train they were riding in Colorado on Sunday saw what very well could have been a specimen of the legendary creature.
They were scanning the slope for elk, and the wife told me, all of a sudden my husband said, "Oh, there's something moving. Oh, it's Bigfoot." And so the other passenger took some video with a cell phone that has since gone viral all over the internet, but there's a chance that Bigfoot has finally been discovered for real.
The Parkers said that prior to their sighting, they were highly skeptical about Bigfoot's existence. They'd heard stories, but took the position that seeing would be believing. Now they're more convinced. I'll be back with more news right after this.
At Hilltop Bank, we understand that buying a home is a big decision. That's why we're here to be your trusted partner on the path to home ownership. Our experienced mortgage team will guide you every step of the way, from pre-approval to closing. We offer competitive rates and a wide variety of home loan options to best suit your needs. With our local knowledge and personalized service, you'll feel confident and comfortable throughout the entire home buying process. Contact us today to start your journey toward home ownership. Hilltop Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
The war in Israel hits close to home literally for one Wyomingite who now resides there. Longtime Casper attorney Mike Crampner is out of harm's way at his home in Jerusalem, but Crampner told Cowboy State Daily's Leah Wolfson that he sees and feels the effects of the Israel-Hamas war each day.
Even though Jerusalem, where he lives, is quite far away from where the actual war activities are taking place, it's a relatively small country. It's smaller than the size of Fremont County. And furthermore, there's lots of shops that are closed now in Jerusalem because there's so many people who've been called into duty.
Crampner explained that living in Jerusalem gives him relative safety from the ongoing war, as there are so many mosques in his city that Hamas forces would be unlikely to launch an airstrike there out of fear of hitting one. And columnist Rod Miller has an opinion about the reporting done by Cowboy State Daily's Claire McFarland about the Thermopolis police officer whose illegal entry into a suspect's home triggered a fatal shootout. The sensitive topic, which will have repercussions in the legal system, is one that must be discussed, according to Miller, who says that this is the value and the role of a free press.
The free press has to stand up to government. That's the charge given to journalists, to stand up on its hind legs and speak truth to power and say the unpopular things so everybody can hear that side of the story.
And that's today's news. Get your free digital subscription to Wyoming's only statewide newspaper by hitting the subscribe button on CowboyStateDaily.com. I'm Wendy Corr for Cowboy State Daily.